The stars shone quietly over Earth, their light calm and steady for centuries. Humans had watched the skies with curiosity and care. No one expected the dark shadow that suddenly appeared at the edge of the solar system. It was massive, far larger than any human ship, and it moved with silent power. A fleet of alien vessels had arrived, their shapes strange and sharp, unlike anything humans had seen before. On Earth, alarms rang across every space command center. Scientists and commanders rushed to their consoles, their faces pale with tension. The aliens broadcast a message in a language humans could barely decipher. The sound was harsh and cold, filled with mockery and amusement. "They are laughing at us," whispered a young officer, his hand shaking over a button. "They think our ships are toys," said another. Staring at the glowing silhouettes on the screen, from orbit, humans could see the alien fleet spread across the void. Ships that could fold space in a blink, their surfaces shining like black diamonds. Each vessel seemed alive, moving with purpose and intelligence beyond human understanding. Yet, even as fear gripped many, a few humans smiled quietly, knowing a secret the aliens did not. Deep beneath Earth, hidden facilities began to hum and glow, unnoticed by the aliens. The alien commander appeared on every screen, a tall figure, with multiple eyes, his voice carried across the solar system, dripping with contempt. "You are primitive," he said. "Your warships are relics from the past. How dare you call yourselves a spacefaring species?" The humans did not respond. They only watched, silent and patient, because this confrontation was exactly what they had been waiting for. On the surface of Earth, people stopped and stared at the sky. Satellites shifted their positions to track. The intruders, children and adults alike, felt a mix of fear and awe. The alien ships moved closer, their size and power overwhelming. No human weapon could yet match what they had brought, or so the aliens believed. In orbit, a human fleet remained in shadow, invisible to alien sensors. Ships built centuries ago, dormant and forgotten, waited for the moment to awaken. Inside each vessel, systems hummed quietly, old but deadly. Engineers from generations past had designed them with secrets buried deep, secrets that could turn the tide of any battle, even against this overwhelming force. As the aliens laughed, sending messages filled with scorn, a small human scout ship moved silently along the perimeter, unseen. It scanned the alien fleet, recording every detail, every weakness. The aliens noticed nothing, still confident in their superiority. They mocked the humans, believing them to be weak and slow, naive and unprepared. But on Earth, commanders exchanged glances, their eyes filled with determination. "This is it," one said quietly, "the moment they underestimated us." Plans written hundreds of years ago were now coming into play. Humanity had waited, learned, and prepared for this exact encounter. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as the first human moves were made. The alien fleet moved closer to Earth, expecting easy victory. Yet, they did not know that humanity had patience, strategy, and hidden power. The quiet hum from the underground facilities grew louder. Lights flickered on in ancient ships. Old engines began to stir, and far above, in the blackness of space, the first shadows of human resistance appeared. The humans were ready, and the aliens did not even know it. For what looked like weakness was in fact centuries of preparation, and the arrival of the alien fleet would soon reveal that Earth was far stronger than it seemed. The alien fleet spread across the solar system like a dark storm. Their massive ships blocked the sunlight and cast shadows over Earth's orbit. From their command vessel, the alien leaders broadcast messages, dripping with scorn. "You call these ships weapons?" The alien commander sneered. "They are nothing but rusted metal and weak engines. How does a species like yours even survive in space?" Every human sensor captured the insults, but the crews remained silent. Some clenched their fists, others simply stared at the screens, calm and patient. The aliens continued, showing off their fleets, each ship larger and more powerful than the last. Some vessels could fold space instantly. Others carried weapons that could destroy a planet with a single strike. They moved with precision, like predators circling an easy prey, confident and cruel. On Earth, children looked up at the sky in fear. Families whispered, wondering if humanity could survive this invasion. But deep underground, human engineers watched with quiet pride. The ancient plans they had preserved for centuries were now about to be revealed. Ships built hundreds of years ago stirred in their hidden docks, waiting. "You are weak," the alien voice echoed through space. "You cannot even leave your home planet without trembling. Your weapons are toys. Your fleets are laughable. Do you really think you can challenge us?" The humans still did not respond, because the right moment had not yet come. Patience was humanity's greatest weapon, and they had learned to wait. A small human scout ship slipped past the alien sensors. It hovered silently, recording every alien movement, every formation. The aliens noticed nothing, their pride blinding them. They mocked humans openly, sending messages filled with ridicule and arrogance. "They are fools," the alien commander said. "Their history is short, their technology is weak. They will fall before us like grass before fire." On Earth, the commanders exchanged calm, knowing glances. They remembered the warnings from centuries past, the secret plans left by ancestors. Every hidden weapon, every ship, every maneuver had been designed for this day. The alien arrogance was a mistake, one that would cost them dearly. The human ships began to hum quietly, engines powering up beneath layers of stealth. Ancient consoles flickered to life, lights blinking in sequences known only to a few. Every ship moved like a shadow, ready to strike. The aliens continued to mock, unaware that the humans were far stronger than they seemed. "They cannot even imagine what we have prepared," whispered a commander. "They think their laughter will win, but they are blind." The alien leader waved his tentacle-like arms, pointing at Earth's orbit. "Prepare to witness the end of a weak species," he said. But even as he spoke, the first signals from the hidden human fleet reached the surface. Ancient engines stirred in silence, old weapons readied for action. The aliens could not sense it yet, but the trap was closing. Across the command centers on Earth, engineers monitored every alien move. Charts and screens displayed weaknesses in the fleet, carefully studied and noted. Every insult the aliens threw only made humans more determined. The mockery fueled their resolve. Their patience had a purpose, and in the shadows of space, humanity waited for the perfect moment to reveal their strength. The alien fleet laughed, arrogant and proud. They had no idea that centuries-old ships were awakening. They mocked humans with confidence, unaware that the first move would soon shock them, and when it came, the galaxy would learn that Earth was far more dangerous than anyone imagined. The alien fleet drifted closer to Earth, still laughing, still mocking. They believed victory was already theirs, that humanity was weak and unprepared. Every sensor they scanned showed only old and rusty ships, seemingly useless against their might. They did not notice the quiet hum growing from the shadows, the hidden fleet awakening beneath their notice. Deep beneath the surface, ancient human warships stirred from centuries of silence. Engines long dormant began to pulse with life, glowing faintly in hidden bays. Old navigation systems came alive. Charts of stars and paths calculated hundreds of years ago flickered on screens. Engineers, descendants of the original creators, monitored every movement with calm precision. The ships were ready, but the moment had not yet come to reveal them. Suddenly, a human scout ship moved faster than light, appearing from nowhere. It zipped past the alien fleet, recording every ship, every formation, every weapon. The aliens were stunned, scanning wildly for the source, but found nothing. "This is impossible," one of the alien officers hissed. "How can they move faster than light with such primitive technology?" Above Earth, orbital satellites captured unusual energy spikes. The hidden human ships began to unfold their secret weapons. Lasers, shields, and engines designed centuries ago hummed quietly. The aliens laughed at first, thinking it was nothing, but the laughter faded as one human ship, ancient and small, accelerated into the heart of their fleet. The alien commander's eyes widened as more human vessels appeared. Seemingly from nowhere, ships that were hundreds of years old, long forgotten, surrounded the aliens silently. It was as if ghosts had risen from the depths of Earth, ready to strike. They moved with perfect coordination, each ship knowing its role. Every human fleet member calculated, precise, calm, and deadly. The aliens fired, blasting beams of energy toward the human ships, but the attacks barely touched the shields, as if the humans had anticipated every strike. One by one, alien ships began to falter, their engines stuttering under unexpected interference. The fleet, that had mocked humanity, was now confused and terrified. They had no idea how a species they considered primitive could move, react, and strike with such skill. From the command center on Earth, the lead officer watched with quiet pride. "The moment is here," he whispered. "The centuries of preparation are working." Every ship moved according to plans laid down 700 years ago. Weapons activated, engines roared, and the hidden fleet struck with deadly precision. The alien fleet had expected weakness, but what they faced was centuries of strategy, patience, and intelligence. The first alien vessel was disabled silently, its systems frozen before anyone could react. Then another, and another. Like dominoes falling in the vacuum of space, panic spread through the alien ranks, their arrogance crumbling in disbelief. They built this centuries ago. An alien commander gasped. How could a primitive species plan so far ahead? Humans watched silently, their patience finally rewarded. They did not celebrate loudly. They moved with calm efficiency. Every action had a purpose. Every strike was calculated. The aliens realized too late that the species they had mocked was far more dangerous than imagined. And as the hidden human fleet continued its silent advance, the galaxy would begin to understand that Earth was not weak. It was cunning. The black void of space erupted into light and fire as human ships engaged the alien fleet. Lasers cut through darkness. Energy beams streaked across the stars. The alien vessels had expected slow, clumsy resistance, but what they faced was precise and coordinated. Every human ship moved in perfect formation, as if the centuries-old plans were alive. The first alien strike hit, but human shields absorbed the energy with ease. Engines roared as ships darted forward, weaving through blasts and counterattacks. Aliens fired again, more aggressively, their confidence fading. Yet humans remained calm, every action measured, every move calculated. Commander Riker, aboard the flagship Horizon, watched the battle unfold. He guided each squadron with quiet authority, his fingers dancing over the controls. "Target the lead ships," he ordered. "Disable their engines first. We strike hard, precise." And without hesitation, pilots obeyed instantly, weaving through chaos with skill born of decades of training and inherited knowledge. Alien ships exploded one by one, their hulls torn open by unexpected strikes. The fleet that had mocked humans now scrambled to regroup. Signals of panic filled the void as alien formations broke apart. Every human vessel knew its role, moving like parts of a single living machine. From the shadows, the ancient destroyers activated hidden weapons. Plasma cannons fired in silent bursts, striking alien cruisers with deadly accuracy. Missiles built centuries ago found their targets before alien defenses could react. Even the fastest alien fighters were no match for humans who had prepared for this encounter long before their ancestors were born. Amid the chaos, a massive alien dreadnought tried to charge Earth directly. Its weapons glowed with destructive energy, ready to crush everything in its path. But human ships anticipated the move, cutting off its path and surrounding it. A coordinated barrage hit every weak point, disabling engines and weapon systems in moments. The dreadnought drifted silently, defeated, unable to escape or retaliate. In the alien command vessel, alarms rang endlessly, panic spreading like wildfire. "How is this possible?" the alien commander demanded, his voice trembling. "They are primitive. They cannot match our technology, yet they move like gods, every strike calculated, every ship perfectly positioned." The humans' centuries-old planning was finally paying off, a silent victory unfolding across the stars. Above Earth, people watched the skies light up with the distant flashes of battle. Some cheered quietly, others trembled in awe and fear. For the first time, humanity was showing the galaxy its true strength, not in arrogance or raw power, but in patience, strategy, and unity. The human fleet moved like a shadow, striking where the aliens least expected. Ships that had been forgotten for hundreds of years proved more deadly than modern alien technology. Every alien vessel that survived a strike found itself trapped in the next. The vacuum of space became a theater of silent, precise destruction. By the end of the first engagement, the alien fleet was fractured and confused. Ships that had once seemed invincible now drifted, crippled and powerless. The humans did not celebrate loudly. They simply reformed their formation. Every pilot, every commander knew the battle was far from over, but the first blow had been struck, and the galaxy would remember this day. Humanity had shown that even the weakest-looking species could wield unimaginable power when it was patient, clever, and united. The alien fleet drifted in disarray, their confidence shattered. Ships that once dominated space now floated silently, engines damaged, weapons offline. The alien commanders stared at their consoles in disbelief, unable to comprehend what had just happened. How? How is this possible? One whispered, trembling. They are a primitive species, yet they moved like gods. Meanwhile, human ships reformed their formation. Calm and precise, no one cheered, no one shouted, because every pilot knew the next move was crucial. Deep inside the flagship horizon, Commander Riker studied the alien vessels. "We have shown them strength," he said quietly, "but they must understand the full story." Alien scientists began scanning the defeated human ships, desperate to find the source of their power. Every piece of technology seemed old, worn, and simple. Yet when analyzed, the systems contained hidden layers of sophistication. Ancient human engines outperformed the latest alien designs. Weapons centuries old fired with deadly precision, and shields that seemed basic held against the mightiest alien fire. The revelation hit the alien crews like a storm. These ships were built 700 years ago, before humans had even traveled beyond their solar system. The designs had been passed down, perfected over centuries. They were more than machines. They were a legacy of foresight, patience, and intelligence. A civilization that planned hundreds of years ahead had finally revealed itself. The alien commander could not hide his shock. "They mocked us," he said quietly, "thinking humans were weak. And yet, these ships, these weapons, they were built long before we arrived in this system. We have underestimated them for centuries." Panic spread through the alien ranks as they realized the scale of their mistake. Every calculation they had made was wrong, every assumption shattered. On Earth, civilians watched the skies. Still unaware of the full story, they saw the human fleet standing victorious. But even they did not know the depth of planning, the centuries of work hidden beneath their feet. For generations, human engineers, scientists, and strategists had laid the foundation for this very moment. A plan to defend the planet and show the galaxy that humanity was not to be mocked. Captured alien ships were carefully studied by humans. Aliens who once sneered at Earth now whispered among themselves in disbelief. How could a species so small, so seemingly weak, build this? They asked. Their arrogance had blinded them, and now they were paying the price. Every system, every weapon, every strategy had been hidden until the right moment. The galaxy would soon remember this day, not because humans had the largest fleet, nor because they had the strongest weapons, but because they had patience, intelligence, and vision. A species that could think centuries ahead was a force unlike any other. And the aliens now understood that mocking humanity was the gravest mistake they could make. Commander Riker looked out at the shattered alien fleet. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "They will learn that we do not rush, we do not act in haste, and we never forget." The stars seemed to shimmer as if acknowledging the truth. Humanity was no longer just a young civilization in the galaxy. They were a species that had waited, prepared, and conquered without arrogance. And the aliens would never forget the name Earth. The alien fleet retreated slowly, their pride shattered. Ships drifted back into the darkness of space, engines damaged, morale broken. They had expected an easy victory, but instead, they had faced centuries of preparation. Every alien who had mocked humanity now understood the true power of patience and planning. On Earth, people watched the skies light up with the aftermath of battle. Citizens cheered quietly. Children pointed at the stars. Families embraced. No one shouted about victory, but this was not a moment for pride. It was a moment for understanding. The galaxy had learned that humans were clever, patient, and powerful beyond expectation. Commander Riker stood aboard the flagship Horizon, calm as ever. He watched the damaged alien fleet disappear into the void. "Our job is not finished," he said quietly. "We have proven our strength, but the galaxy will test us again. We must remain ready, vigilant, and united." Across human space, engineers repaired ancient ships. They hummed quietly in their hidden bays, engines glowing, weapons recharged. Every ship was ready for the next challenge. Every crew member trained and prepared. Centuries of planning had worked perfectly. But humans knew this was only the beginning. In the alien command centers, whispers filled the air. How could they build this long before we arrived? One commander asked. 700 years. They anticipated everything. We underestimated them completely. Another replied. Panic and awe mixed together. A bitter realization that Earth was no ordinary planet. The humans did not gloat. They did not flaunt their victory. Instead, they returned to their routines, quietly rebuilding, quietly preparing. The galaxy would soon learn that Earth was more than a single planet. It was a civilization that thought ahead, that planned centuries in advance. A species that never showed all its strength at once, and one that would always protect its home. And people with precision and intelligence. Stories of the battle spread slowly, first among scouts and traders, then across distant systems.